What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Board Games Are For Everybody, where today we're going to be playing a game of let's try and keep everything in the camera frame. We're going to see how well that works out. Today we're going to be playing the solo mode for the Tokyo Highway Rainbow City expansion. When I did the unboxing video the other day, we'll take it out of here, you guys saw that the solo mode included with the game unfortunately just comes with a QR code for the rules. So we didn't have the rules the other day in order to play. However, I have since printed said rules off from online so that we will have a copy in the box and for us to read for the video, because I record with my phone, so I couldn't look up the rules and record at the same time. So we're going to do a rule read through for the expansion, and then we are going to get into it. I already have everything set up, as you can see. We are using some of the Kickstarter exclusive, well, we're using all of the Kickstarter exclusive things, I should say. We more or less have it set up the way it actually is set up in the rules down here. Just because I thought maybe they put the photo that way for a reason. Maybe it makes it a bit more balanced. And then I tried to just spread the rest of the Kickstarter stuff out appropriately. Now, I am probably going to have to move around a lot for this one, so I'm going to try and not knock the camera too much. But let's put our, where's a good place to put the deck? How far over do I have? We'll toss it over here for now. You can still see that, right? Yep, that's still it. Okay, so we're just going to hop right into this. We are going to get into Tokyo Highway solo mode from the Rainbow City expansion. So first things first, one player's time is approximately 40 minutes, and it is for ages 8 and up. All of the, I'm guessing it's Japanese, possibly, text characters are after the stuff here, even though the rules were in English, so that's kind of interesting. Number one, about this game, this bonus pack contains 37 cards to play Tokyo Highway Rainbow Road, sold separately. You have to remember it's sold separately. For a single player, the base rules are the same as Tokyo Highway Rainbow City, but the players need to build highways by following instructions on the cards. Build 4 highways on your own and aim for a high score based on the missions. So starting setup. After building the starting ramp, place the orientation cards nearby. They're over here. The N marked on the orientation card serves as a reference for the play area of the entire table. Do not move the orientation card. So we just have to make sure that it is always facing north or up in this case, towards the window. Form a card deck with the rest of the cards and place it next to the orientation card. Oh, is that what the white card was? Hold on, let me search through for that white card there. Is that what that white card was? Just the orientation card? It's the orientation card. Boom. Orientation card. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. Okay, placing city objects. After preparing the play area, like above, the player places city objects and areas around the table freely. It says you can place them freely. I set it up more or less the way it is in the photo here, with the exception of our Kickstarter exclusive things, which we have over here connected to this development plot. We have our Asakusa shrine tower thing kind of over here behind, which hopefully can be seen. My tripod camera stand thing is blocking that specific section, so hopefully you can see it right here. And then we have our amusement park back here beside, or just behind this orange highway back here. Number 3, turn actions. A turn consists of the player constructing a road in each of the 4 highways, one by one, in a clockwise direction. After 8 turns, the game ends. Draw 4 cards. At the beginning of each turn, draw and reveal 4 cards from the deck. Each card shows instructions, such as which direction the highway can be extended. Refer to the cards. Assign the cards. Assign one card per highway. The player can decide which card is assigned for which highway. Once you have decided, place each card near the starting ramps. Note, the cards must be placed following the direction of the N on the orientation card. So I guess if you really wanted to, you could change things up by flipping your orientation card so that north is that way or north is this way, but we're just going to keep it that north is north in regards to the video. Starting from the first highway in a clockwise direction, start building the highway following the instructions of the cards. If the road, where was I? If the road that was built meets a car placement condition, the player must then place a car anywhere on the road stick. The played cards are then placed face down. At the end of each turn, put the played cards in a pile. Repeat this for 8 turns. So the conditions that need to be met in order for a car to be placed is for the roadway to cross over another highway piece. It can be a highway piece of any color. It doesn't have to be for the same color. That's base game rules. So long as one of our highways makes it over another highway, not including going over a column section, it has to be going directly over a highway, then we get to place a car on it. Number 4, the cards. The player follows the instructions of the cards to build the highways. The cards show a combination of elements as follows. Direction of the road extensions. The black section of the card indicates the indicates the direction in which the player can build the road. Please note that the direction of the road that has already been placed isn't affected by the direction. So on our cards, we'll have a little black section, and depending on which road we decide to attribute it to, that is the direction we're going to have to build in, which is something that I brought up while we were going through the unboxing. I figured that's kind of how it worked. 4.2, junctions. A junction can only be placed when it is marked on a card. The player can also choose not to use a junction if they don't want to. So up in the top right of the card, we'll have the little yellow junction piece that we can use to put down if we so choose, instead of just supports. Junctions allow us to build any height. We can go up any amount of columns, or we can go down any amount of columns. Junctions also allow us to put another roadway onto that column piece. So instead of just having one coming in and one going out, we can have one coming in and 2 going out. So we can split a pathway to make it a little more interesting. 4.3, build columns up or down. Cards with up or down indicate that the road must be built to go higher, up, or lower down. The highway can be extended in any direction. Up, build one column different higher than the height of the base points. Down, build one column difference lower than the height of the base points. If there is a junction symbol on the cards, there is no limit to the number of columns used per road as long as it follows the instructions to go up or down. Number 5, notes. On the first turn, if the card drawn are one of these 4 cards in the image, place the card aside and redraw the 4 cards until 4 cards that are not one of the following. So I guess down. I guess because the downs would give you a runoff. It would just be a highway entering and then a highway exiting. I guess that makes sense. And then this other one, I guess, because it's a 90 degree, that's the problem that we're having with that one, maybe. A redraw. The player can redraw cards up to 3 times throughout the game, so we're only allowed to do it 3 times. I'll have to find a way to keep track of that. After 3 redraws, the player must always choose the drawn cards. This does not include the redraw on your first turn, as described above the first turn. Common material for all 4 highways. Columns are used as a common material for all 4 highways as long as the stock is available. There is no limit to the number of columns used per highway. However, only 2 junctions can be used per highway. So we're only allowed to have 2 junctions per highway. We're going to have to keep that one in mind. Knocking down. If the player knocks down cars, columns, or roads during the game, regardless of the number of items knocked down, only remove one column from the stock in that turn. Right. I think I remember that. When you knock stuff down, you have to remove a column. We'll figure that one out. I hope I'm not going to knock things down. Typically when we play, if we have a really big setup and we knock it down, we just give up because getting everything back together is a pain. The mission board. The rightmost missions of the mission board, stock, highest, and same card, are not used for solo mode. We have our mission board back here containing our Kickstarter exclusives on the left-hand side, and then it will just be these 8 missions that we're using. These 3 on the right-hand side, it appears we will not be using for our scoring. End of the game. The game ends when any of the following occurs. Number 1, when all 8 turns have been completed. Number 2, when all cars of one color have been placed. The game ends when all roads for that turn have been built. Number 3, when it is no longer possible to build within the card limits. Number 4, when it is no longer possible to build anything due to a lack of columns. The player scores points using the scoreboard. Once all scores have been tallied, check your progress as follows. So we'll come back to the progress checking as we go. So really all we need to remember as far as scoring goes is that if we build around, so the Asakusa Shrine, according to the rules, actually they're on the back here. Boom. Asakusa, Yacht Harbor, and Amusement Park can be placed the same as any other area. However, Yacht Harbor can only be placed if it touches one of the development areas. So we have our Yacht Harbor down here connected to this development area. So for the Asakusa, 2 points for the car that is placed the closest to the 5-storied pagoda. Note, this area must not be crossed over by any roads. This can be checked by looking at it directly from above. Also, no off-ramps can be placed on this area. So we will get 2 points just for being adjacent to it, I guess. It's hard to say. It's kind of hard to score that one in solo. I don't know if that would really work for solo. I guess if we just have one close enough to it, however, we cannot cross over it, we will get 2 points. The Yacht Harbor, 2 points if a car is placed on a road with a column located on the development area beside the Yacht Harbor. No columns or off-ramps can be placed on the sea. The same player doesn't receive more points if they place more than one car. An additional 1 point for development can be gained. So 2 points if a car is placed on a road with a column located on the development area beside. So if we have a column coming up off of this development area, then we will gain 2 points for that Yacht Harbor. And the amusement park, 2 points if an off-ramp is built on this area. Only on the light green base parts. If 2 or more players build an off-ramp, it turns into 3 points each. So I'm assuming if we can get more than one off-ramp into the amusement park, then we'll get 3 points for both those highways, opposed to just 2 points for having one on it. So that should be interesting. Let's see if we've got the point rules on the back for this one. Are they on the inside, perhaps? They are not. I'm going to have to grab the instructions out so that we know how these ones work, because I didn't look it up beforehand and I don't know exactly what all of this is. These ones aren't getting used. I'm assuming this is ×2 for going around the tower, but I don't know if that's ×2 to your entire score or if it's ×2 to, I don't know, the amount of cars that you have on that part. We'll look that up. This one seems to be 1 point possibly per building you go around, I would guess. This one seems to be for developing on development sections, so having columns on development sections. I'm guessing this is 1 point per car. That makes sense. Traffic jam might be 2 points if you have 3 cars on the same thing. That would be my guess from that. 2 points for going underneath the rainbow. That one I know. 2 points for an off-ramp going to the green area, which is up in the top corner there. And that's it for that one. So let's grab out the rule book just to double check, and that will be the last thing we need to do before we hop into this. We're just going to double check those couple so that we can try and plan out the best that we can while we do this. Oh, it would probably help. Oh no, this is the rainbow. Oh yeah, this is the rainbow save. I was gonna say it would probably help if I got the proper rules, but I do have the proper rules. They just look very similar. Okay, here we go. So missions and their scores. So drive, yep, 1 point for each car placed on the road. Development, 1 point for each development area where a column is placed. Even if the same player places multiple columns on a development area, they only score 1 point. So we can get 1 point per development area, which there are 5 of total. Traffic jam, 2 points if 3 or more roads on which cars are placed are connected. A connection is branched. A connection in a Y-branched shape is valid. Additional connections by the same player do not increase the score. So 2 points if 3 or more roads on which cars are placed are connected. So basically we have to get 3 in a row. That'll be, we might be able to get that to work. We might be able to get that to work. Okay, the rainbow, 2 points if if a car is placed on a road that goes through the rainbow. Easy. Off-ramp, making an off-ramp. Oh yeah, to the bottom there. Making an off-ramp to the airport. That makes sense. 2 points for building an off-ramp to the airport. Points do not increase if the same player makes more than 1 off-ramp. Back here we got our buildings. So surrounding buildings with connected roads score 1 point times the number of buildings. The road scored must be intersected and completely surrounding the building when viewed directly from above. It's also valid to loop several buildings in a figure 8. Okay. So we don't have to do each one 4 times, but we do have to, we could like, I'm guessing we could do like one big one like this. That would still be surrounded, right? That would be my guess anyway. That's kind of what it made it sound like. Stock is not part of solo. Highest is not part of solo. Tower, surrounding the tower. If connected roads can surround the tower, score the player gets for the building mission is... Oh, so if we surround the tower, we get 2 times instead of 1 times per building that is surrounded. Makes sense. And then off-ramp, 2 points for an off-ramp into the green area. So that only took 20 minutes. We're finally going to get into this here. That was a lot of rules to go through.